What's up, guys? It's time for me to make my Super Bowl 59 prediction. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Before I make my official prediction, let's talk about why the Philadelphia Eagles can win this game. Number one, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is the reigning Offensive Player of the Year. He won that on Thursday at the NFL Honors, and deservedly so. The Giants fumbled the bag, letting Saquon walk out the building, and Philly said, you know what, division rival? Let's go scoop him up. Let's add to our strength. We had Miles Sanders 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. We had DeAndre Swift last year. But none of those guys are Saquon Barkley. Let's go out and get the best running back in the league. And Saquon has absolutely revitalized and rejuvenized this football team. If the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win tonight's game, they need Saquon Barkley to have a big game. The reason why I'm skeptical about Saquon having as big a game as he did in the NFC Championship, as he did in the divisional round, is because Steve Spagnuolo understands the assignment. I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to stack the box. They're going to do everything they can to stop Saquon Barkley. I understand that's easier said than done. Saquon's a beast. He's an animal. He's an absolute wrecking machine who can take over the game. And if Philly wins, has a great shot to win Super Bowl MVP. I am not denying that. But what is the main message here? The main message is to stop Saquon Barkley. You cannot let him take over this game. And I believe Kansas City has the defenders, has the defense that Washington didn't have to actually limit him in the most meaningful game of the year. Philly also needs a big game out of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. And the last time these two teams played, Jalen Hurts arguably had his best game as a pro. Nick Sirianni arguably coached his best game. But there were two mistakes both of these gentlemen made. When it was 14-7, middle of the third quarter, Jalen Hurts fumbles the ball. It was the only mistake he made all game. And he did bounce back from it. But he fumbles. Nick Bolton picks that thing up. Scoop and score. 14-14. Jalen, if you didn't do that, maybe you don't go down the field and make it 21-7. But at least Kansas City doesn't score. That was a monumental error that Jalen made. Nick Sirianni's mistake was after Kansas City took the lead by 1, 28-27, 4th and 2, he decides to punt the ball. Now, I understand the logic. He was in his own territory. If they don't pick it up, Kansas City has a great shot to get a touchdown. They certainly would have gotten a field goal. But with the way the momentum was going, I think you have to be aggressive. We've seen Sean McVay be aggressive in Super Bowl 56. We've seen Doug Peterson be aggressive in Super Bowl 52. Nick Sirianni was aggressive in Super Bowl 57. That was the only time he was passive, and it cost his team because Kadarius Toney had the big punt return. Patrick Mahomes hit Sky Moore for a wide open touchdown. Kansas City took the lead 35-27. In order for the Eagles to win, Jalen Hurts is going to have to go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, something that he did in Super Bowl 57 and came up short. Nick Sirianni is going to have to go toe-to-toe with Andy Reid, something that he did and came up short in that Super Bowl. So even if these guys play as perfect as they can, without the mistakes, it's going to be a very, very tall task. And with all the issues that Philly has faced, not only in the regular season, but in the postseason, A.J. Brown reading a book in the wild card game against the Packers, Brandon Graham mentioning that the relationship between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts isn't the same, fans booing Nick Sirianni, wanting him to get fired after a very close victory against the Cleveland Browns, him heckling the fans and firing back at them. And in addition to almost blowing a playoff game to the LA Rams. If the Eagles lost that playoff game, are we 100% confident Sirianni has a job? I'm not, because this is what the Eagles are chaotic. I just can't fully trust them. And last but not least, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the two-time defending champion for a reason. They don't make mistakes. The Eagles' defense may be the best defense in the NFL, but when I watch both of these units, the Kansas City defense actually jumps off my screen more. In the postseason, we've seen what Chris Jones has done. Last year, in the Super Bowl, third down, wide open Brandon Ayuk in the end zone. Who blows that play up? Chris Jones. He got to Brock Purdy. This year, fourth down, game on the line. Who got to Josh Allen? Who put the heat on him? Chris Jones. Trent McDuffie was unbelievable in last year's Super Bowl. I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles' defense. Jalen Carter is an absolute beast. Brandon Graham is coming back. The two young kids they got in the secondary, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, have absolutely bolstered the back end. The Eagles' defense is good. I'm not taking anything away from it. But to think that Patrick Mahomes isn't going to crack that code with better weapons than he had compared to the weapons he was throwing to in Super Bowl 57 is laughable. In Super Bowl 57, Patrick Mahomes was throwing to Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore as his three best receivers. In this Super Bowl, he's got Xavier Worthy, a first-round draft pick. He's got Marquise Hollywood Brown. He's got DeAndre Hopkins, a seasoned veteran in the league. He has Juju as his number 4 receiver, who made some big plays in that AFC Championship game against Buffalo. And he has Travis Kelce. And there are rumblings that this could be Travis Kelce's last game as a pro. I believe that's hogwash. I understand he has Taylor Swift to go to now, so there's a chance that happens. But I still think Travis Kelce is going to play after this game. With those weapons, with Mahomes understanding, he has a chance to three-peat and do something that no NFL quarterback has ever done in the history of this game. It's hard to bet against Kansas City. Philly's a great team. Philly has the slightly better roster, but they're not blowing Kansas City out. Kansas City is nipping on their heels, and they have the better quarterback, they have the better head coach. They've been in these moments before. And then when you look at all the external factors, the refs, special teams, the experience, Kansas City has the edge in all of those respective areas. And to bet against Patrick Mahomes on a big stage is just very, very hard to do. When the Patriots had Tom Brady, it was so easy for me to pick him year after year after year because they had the best quarterback in the NFL. Although I dislike Kansas City and I hope they don't win the Super Bowl, to bet against Patrick Mahomes is something that I just can't do in this moment, especially after I picked against Kansas City in Super Bowl 57. I'm expecting this to be a close game that goes down to the wire, but at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is going to find Travis Kelce with under a minute to go to give Kansas City a 30-27 lead, and the Kansas City defense with Chris Jones is going to hold up and prevent Philly from getting the field goal they need to tie this game. And even if Philly gets into rage, I don't have enough confidence in Jake Elliott to send the game to overtime. The Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat. It makes me sick to my stomach, but at the end of the day, I have to make these picks with my head over my heart, and the Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes is your MVP, and after he wins this game tonight, he will become the second greatest quarterback in NFL history. That being said, he has a long way to go to catch that GOAT in New England, that man Tom Brady. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks, guys.